Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder as I step out for a walk and deliver an episode to you while I stroll around. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good afternoon, listeners. It's a strange day here in suburban Chicago. That my weather app told me it was going to be 41 degrees. It feels warmer than that to me. Not a lot warmer, but 41 feels like it should be really cold, and this just feels a little chilly. It's kind of gray weather, and it's actually sprinkling just a very light sprinkling of rain, which is going to be awkward as we go along because my glasses are going to get all wet, but I'll do my best. I did not bring an umbrella because I want to keep the sound pure. We'll see how it works out. Hopefully I don't have to re-record this later. But I did want to get out and take a walk today because, one, it's Monday. Two, I'm getting a little behind on my timing. Not very much, but I do want to make sure I'm putting out 8 or 9 episodes a month. And I think I was a little short in April. Also, today is May 1st. And on May 1st, you know what that means? It's time for Top of the Stack. Boop-a-doo-boo. All right, so for those of you who are new to the podcast, Top of the Stack is our monthly sort of games roundup session where we talk about games we've played recently and what we plan to play next month. I'm a person who makes lists and plans, and so I really enjoy making a list of what games I have played and what games I want to play and sort of ticking things off of that list. It's enjoyable and fun and amusing. And so I do that with you here on the Top of the Stack podcast, Top of the Stack episode. Now, if you like to track these things as well, or feel emboldened by my conversation about doing so, feel free to head over to our guild on Board Game Geek, number 3269, where you can just Google Pick Up and Deliver Guild, or go to rattlebox.games or rattleboxgames.com and find the show notes for this episode where I'll have a link to our guild. And you can join the conversation about the Top of the Stack. Usually each month, somebody posts a Top of the Stack roundup where they talk about how they've been doing. I think Chris Graves already posted one for this month. So nicely done, Chris. All right, let's get into it. Oh, I do like to take a moment to mention that I stole the phrase Top of the Stack and the idea of kind of bookmarking what I plan to play from the beloved Podcast of Nonsensical Gamers, which has been gone, I think, as long as my podcast has been running now. I think it was already gone by the time my podcast was running. In fact, this podcast has been running longer than that one did, I believe. So take that for what you will. Anyhow, all right, on to the episode. So I'd like to start with my final monthly stats. For April, I played 85 plays of 50 different games, putting my year total at 343 plays of 150 different games. Doing well there. My shelf of opportunity dropped 4 spaces this month from 57 to 53. My collection size went down 1 from 558 to 557, although I'm still up 4 games from the beginning of the year when I was at 553. My most played this game this month in real life was Frosthaven with 4 plays, and in online, it was Takenoko with 5 asynchronous plays. That one showed up on Board Game Arena, and one of the groups that I sort of play a regular rotation of games with has been playing it kind of nonstop since. It's the second edition, so they've changed some of the rules, and it's taking a little getting used to, but I think it's probably a better game with the rule changes. The original edition was a bit too swingy. It was too easy late in the game to just score points by taking the plot action and drawing plot cards, or cards that you scored by having the right hexes. You also have to, and then the bamboo growth ones, you have to actually have the gardener on one of the spaces that you're scoring for. So that makes it a little harder as well. My top of the stack list for April was new game, Champions of Midgard. I did get that played. Top 50 choice, Terraforming Mars. Unfortunately, I did not get Terraforming Mars to the table. I may have a chance this Thursday, though. We'll see. My novelty game, Risk, Plants vs. Zombies. I did get that to the table. And my dusty choice was Mythotopia. I did not get Mythotopia played, alas. So 2 out of the 4. And remember that 3 of the 4 is considered a success for the month. That brings me to 9 of my 12 attempted top of the stack games. That means if for the next 3 months I get all 4 completed, I'll be back on track. If I don't get all 4 completed next month, especially if I get fewer than 3, I slip behind the ability to get caught up, and not permanently, but it gets harder and harder. All right, so on to first plays this month. I had a few new plays. Coming into the month, I had 37 new to me games played. I got to try 5 games this month. Stick Stack, The Thing, the board game, Champions of Midgard, Risk, Plants vs. Zombies, and Marvel United. That brings me to 42 new to me games this year. I did try 1 expansion play this month. This was asynchronously on Board Game Arena. That was Azul Master Chocolatier, which had a very slight difference in rules from regular Azul, but not much. Out of the Dust plays, I had quite a few. I had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 Out of the Dust plays this month. I played Celestia, One Night Ultimate Werewolf, Photosynthesis, The Adventurers, The Pyramid of Horus, Unstable Unicorns, and Clank, a deck building adventure. That brings me to 25 games dusted off this year. Now, as you know, some years I like to do a 10 by 10 challenge. In case you're not familiar with that, a 10 by 10 challenge is where you choose 10 games. The sort of original 10 by 10 challenge is you choose 10 games and you try to play them 10 times each over the course of the year. I have in the past done a variety of different kinds of 10 by 10 challenges. This year, I decided to do a designer 10 by 10, where I pick 10 game designers whose work I'd like to play more, and I play them each 10 times over the course of the year. I'm also tracking 2 ways that I'm playing the games by those designers. I consider it a minor victory if I play 10 by 10 and include the asynchronous plays. So if I do asynchronous plays of a design, so playing on Board Game Arena mostly, and I get it correct and I get all 10, that's perfect. But a big victory would be if I got 10 plays in real life. So it's a minor victory if I get 10 plays on digital plays. It's a major victory if I get 10 plays in real life. So here's how I'm doing on that. In real life plays, I've got 4 Martin Wallace games played, 3 Vladimir Suki games played, 2 Reiner Knizia games played, 0 Inka Brand games played, 3 Phil Walker Harding games played, 2 Tom Lehman games played, 0 Elizabeth Hargrave games played, 2 Vlaada Chvátil games played, 2 Uwe Rosenberg, and 3 Carl Chudik. Those are the real life in-person plays. So I really should be at 4 to 5 with each person at this point, and I'm not close to that. So I'm running pretty far behind the curve. And if I don't take some serious steps to try to finish that, I'm not gonna make it. It might be worthwhile for me to think of it if I get 50, 5 by 10 of those designers, that I could think of that as a major victory, as long as I get the other 5 asynchronously. I'll keep that in mind as a middle victory. So there's low victory is 10 for 10 asynchronous plus real life. Middle victory, 5 for 10 real life, the other 5 for 10 asynchronous. And major victory if I get 10 for 10 real life. Okay, so here's my asynchronous plays. Martin Wallace, I'm up to 4 asynchronous plays. I played A Few Acres of Snow twice this month. Vladimir Suki, I'm up to 6 asynchronous. Reiner Knizia, I have played 10 times asynchronously. Inka Brand, 10 times asynchronously. Mostly because I played a whole bunch of Raja of the Ganges Dice Charmers. I played quite a few rounds of that, and that's great. Phil Walker Harding, I'm up to 4 asynchronous games. Tom Lehman, I'm always playing Res Arcana online, so I've finished with Tom Lehman, 10 plays. Elizabeth Hargrave, I've got 4 plays of Wingspan under my belt online. Uwe Rosenberg, I'm up to 7 plays online. And Carl Chudik, I played two rounds of Mataina this month, which puts me at 2. All right, so that was a lot of numbers, but hopefully you're finding it interesting. I'm curious, which of those designers do you like best? Are you playing any of their games? Head over to our guild and let me know. So far this year, I have a H-index of 7. Remember, an H-index is number of games times number of times played for the year. I have 7 games that I've played 7 times or more. This is both asynchronous and in real life. It's Through the Ages, My City, Res Arcana, Age of Civilization, Gaia Project, Rajas of the Ganges, Frosthaven, and Lost Cities. And that's probably Rajas of the Ganges, the Dice Charmers, is my guess. All right, the 52 game challenge. This is the one where there are a variety of different amusing prompts, and your goal is to complete them as you go along. I only completed 2 prompts this month, which brings me to 25 out of 52, which isn't bad. I need to be at 26 by the end of June, so I'm 2 months ahead to get to halfway. Although generally the first half is easier to do than the second half, so I want to keep it up. But this month I only had 2. I had play a game where money is important. I decided Obsession is certainly one of those. And play a game with modules, and I chose Baron Park, which has the scoring module that you almost always use. But then it also has if you have the expansion, it's got the Grizzly Bears module and the Monorails module, both of which are a delight. I have added a painting challenge to my monthly thinking about games, and this month my painting challenge was to paint the starting class models for Frosthaven. I have not quite completed that, but I consider it a victory anyway, because the reality of that goal was to paint the models that we're using to play Frosthaven. And we did in fact play 3 rounds of Frosthaven this month using the standees, because I had the models away from the table to paint them. And then our last game of Frosthaven this month in April, we got to play with the miniatures, because I had finished painting the Necromancer, Banner Spear, Deathwalker, and Blinkblade. I had not yet finished the Geminate or the but I have since started the Geminate. And then we also had one class that we unlocked as well, which I won't say the name of because I don't want to spoil anything, but I have started that one as well, because we've started a second party and we're just playing through. I'm using the Geminate and he's using this other class we just unlocked. So my painting goal is going well. I think that if I finish the other 2 this month, which I suspect I will, then I'm thinking I'm going to paint the miniatures from Cerebria next. I really like those. They're pretty, they're big, and I want to play Cerebria sometime soon, and it would be fun to play it with miniatures rather than without miniatures. So yeah, there's that. Not a lot left. My Shelf of Opportunity log. The Shelf of Opportunity is evolving nicely. There were 55 games on the unplayed list as of January. And of course, I acquired a bunch when I did that trade, so that went up even though I had been going down. But I've been vigorously applying myself, and I'm down to 53 games. So the Shelf of Opportunity is actually smaller than it was when I started. More importantly, I acquired 0 games in April. I did find 1 or 2 things at Goodwill this month. I found a copy of Codenames Pictures, which I'm donating to the Board Game Club. And then I found a copy of Escape Room the Game, one of the ones we haven't done yet. I don't really count those in the collection, because as soon as we're done with them, then I donate them somewhere else. So that's not really my bag. All right, finally, the top 50 challenge. For those of you who will remember that every other year I do a top 50 games, and I made a goal to play every game on my top 50 between last time I did a top 50 and this time. And that means at the beginning of this year I had 12 games left to play, and I haven't been doing great on getting those played. I should be playing 1 a month for sure. And this month I had planned to play Terraforming Mars, but I did not get it played. But we did get out Clank, a deck building adventure, which is a game I had not played for a while. And we played that, had a good time. I pushed my luck and ended up winning by about 16 points. So it came down to the last 2 rounds where I was trying to get out. The other 2 players were both out, and I had 4 health left, and then I took 2 damage, so I had 2 health left. And on the last draw, we were drawing 8 tokens, and if they had drawn 2 yellow tokens from the 8, then I would have died, and I would not have gotten the 20-point thing. And I actually had a card that was worth another 5 points or 10 points if I had a mastery token. So I would have been like 25 points down from where I was had I fallen inside the temple. And upon drawing the last round of things, they drew 7 cubes that were not mine and one that was mine, meaning I still had 1 health left. And on my last turn, I drew some movement and I was able to get out of the thing and win. When we looked in the bag, way more than half of the cubes in the bag were mine. So, whoa, pure luck, just pushing, and I managed to squeak out a win. Really good time. Clank was a lot of fun. We had a good time playing it, and I think we may look at this summer starting to play Clank Acquisitions Incorporated, which is the legacy game, because my daughter is always busy, so my wife and son and I tend to have a little bit more time in the summer, so we may play that as a 3-person fun game. All right, well, that brings me to the end of the stuff I had to cover today. Feels like I did not. Oh, I'll tell you what other games I have yet to play on my top 50 challenge. I still have to play Netrunner, Altiplano, Terraforming Mars, Cerebria, Vampire the Eternal Struggle, A Touch of Evil, Shipyard, Terra Mystica, and Trismegistus. Now, Terra Mystica I may end up playing online. Vampire the Eternal Struggle and Netrunner probably online. Although Netrunner maybe not, we'll see. I may play it with my neighbor. I was thinking about getting back into it this summer, but we'll see. So many things to do, so little time. Well, that brings me to the end of the episode. All in all, April ended up being a pretty fun month, but I did not end up playing as many new games as I usually do. Between that and not buying any games, it was a weird month in terms of my overall, approach to things. I liked it. I had a good time playing a lot of games. It was fun dusting off the games that I dusted off. It was fun trying a few new things that belong to other people. Yeah, overall, a really nice time, really fun time, and looking forward to continuing to play more games in May. This is a good opportunity for me to check in and say, hey, I really appreciate you listening to the podcast. If you have a friend you think might enjoy it, why not mention it to them? If you haven't given me a review anywhere, go to the place where you get your podcast from and drop a review. It'd be nice to pick up some more listeners, of course, but I love our dedicated audience and our community that we've built here. If you'd like to get a hold of me, the easiest way is to send me a message on BoardGameGeek. Wombat929 is my username. I do have an email address as well, Brendan@Rattlebox Games, which I don't check as often, I'm afraid, but you could certainly email me there and I'll get to it eventually. If you'd like to play a game with me, I'm on Board Game Arena and Yucata. I'm also on Boîte à Jeux, but I'm kind of winding that down, so I would say don't reach out to me there, but yucata.de or Board Game Arena are great places to set up an asynchronous game and we can have some fun. Well, thanks for joining me on my walk today. I hope your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.